Hey, yeah, everybody. Okay, so thought of the day. I was contemplating this topic of letting go. And one thing that I was thinking of in a particular situation that I found myself in the last couple of days has been, there's so many ways of thinking about letting go. And if you look online, there's so many people with their own theories of letting go. So I'm just going to add my own little blip to all of that. And one thing that I recognize for myself on the topic of letting go is it's easier to let go, especially of like a person in your life. Could be a relationship, could be like a friendship, could be any sort of ship, that you have. One little key that I found that helps me in letting go, right? Because when we're letting go, it's not necessarily like I'm losing you for the rest of my life. Could be whatever, like we don't have a magic future ball in front of us, so nobody actually knows like what is ever gonna happen ever, no matter how much we try to control. But when we're wanting to let go, it's really like letting go of the stories that we tell ourselves of, who this person is, what they mean to us, what they represent, expectations that we had in our relationship or friendship or agreement or whatever, right? So it's like, it's noticing what is the story that I'm telling myself, what were the expectations that I had. But the key thing that I find is important in letting go is like, what was my role in creating whatever it was that brought to the forefront needing to let go in the first place, right? Whether it be like a breakup, whether it be the ending of a friendship, whether it be like leaving a company, it could be anything, anything that you find yourself ruminating or needing to let go of or like having a hard time letting go of. It's like, what was my role in the creation of that? And what I find is when you can allow yourself to bring yourself to that space, like what was my role, what was my part, it's bringing that responsibility onto you to do a little bit of self-reflection, right? Like, how can I make myself better moving forward for myself? Like, is there something that is creating a trigger? Is there something that I have unhealed within me that I'm bringing into relationships moving forward? Like, what is it inside of me, as well? Because nothing in life is ever always other people, right? We are always brought to situations together. And so there's always lessons to be had within that. And I find that one of the biggest keys for me in letting go, especially of people, is to bring my awareness to what was my role. And even like conveying that to the other person is like an added bonus, because at that point, if you want to like mend anything, or even if you just want to apologize for your part, I find that the humility is everything, because ultimately what we're all seeking is communication, right? And maybe we're not all seeking communication, but I feel like to understand, you need to have communication, because, and this is something for me too, is like when we expect others to treat us a certain way, sometimes people don't know how we need to be communicated with. So it's important from a grounded space, to do the work, the self-reflection, to learn what it is that you actually need and like what that situation represented. And it's like, oh, okay, I've learned that this actually doesn't work for me, or this does work for me, and this will enhance our relationship, friendship, whatever ship moving forward, because I recognize this is what works for me, this is what doesn't. So this is something about me that, you know, we can work with and I can understand more, and what is it for you? What's the best communication style for you? Like if you recognize X, Y, and Z, right? So it's about learning about ourselves, having compassion for ourselves and having compassion for other people, because no one's perfect. Like no one's perfect. And if we're all doing the best that we can and we're all actually like taking steps to wanting to further and heal and mend things, that's cool. And regardless, and on the other token of that, like if people recognize, okay, this isn't a situation for me, a relationship, a friendship that resonates with me, if you can communicate and convey, hey, like, look, I recognize that X, Y, and Z, like I recognize this within myself, I'd love to talk, blah, 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 but you also come to a conclusion where it's like, this actually isn't for me, like that's awesome too. But I feel like that is a really great way, in addition to like allowing yourself to let go, are just those little keys, you know, is like one, allowing yourself to reflect and have humility for yourself to be like, okay, maybe I didn't react or respond in the most productive way. What's actually the root of this? You know, like obviously I reacted for a reason. There's something here. How can I find out more of what's going on within myself? And then conveying that, like, you know, hey, I recognize X, Y, and Z. I'd like to approach this differently moving forward. I apologize for whatever. Regardless of what the other person, because we can't control what the other person feels, like what they want moving forward, all we can do is understand ourselves better and show up differently moving forward. But I think in allowing yourself to do the work, to convey that information, helps ourselves move forward and let go, right? So just another tidbit to add to your toolkit of letting go, because sometimes that could be pretty challenging, but that is a key factor for me. Hopefully it helps any of you, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.